From this video, we will learn the two important steps that are required to create a RESTful web service in the Java world or JAX-WS world. JAX-WS stands for Java API for RESTful Web Services. It is from Sun Microsystems or Oracle, and it defines all the API that we as programmers should learn to implement a RESTful service. The providers like Apache CXF or Jersey implement the JAX-RS API and provide meaning to the annotations or interfaces that we use from this API. So the first important annotation that will allow you to implement a RESTful service is the path annotation. Using path, you can bind the URIs that a client will use later to your resources and methods. Here I am binding the product service, which is a Java class, and exposing it as a RESTful service simply by using the @path variable annotation and giving it a value called /products. Now an end user who wants to consume, a client of our RESTful service who wants to consume this service, can simply hit it from the browser using the IP address, port number, then the web application name /products. This is the URI, and then the RESTful service provider like Apache CXF will look at the request, this part, and automatically call into our RESTful service class. And the second binding is the HTTP method binding. Now that the provider knows about which resource should service a particular request, we should also tell the provider which method, which particular HTTP method should be handled by which method in our class. For that, we have the javax.ws.rs.get annotation and all the respective annotations for each of the HTTP methods. Here I simply have marked the get products method with the @get annotation. So if a client of our RESTful web service hits the URL, automatically the browser will use a get method, and this method will return all the products which will go back to the browser. It's that simple. The annotation, the get annotation by itself doesn't do anything. All these annotations are annotated with a meta annotation called web method, and the providers like Apache CXF or Jersey will scan through the resource and then will try to look at these annotations and figure out if the value provided for this annotation, when this annotation is created, they would have internally annotated it with a web method annotation, providing it a string value called get. So at runtime, when a request comes in, Apache CXF or Jersey will match the incoming request in the HTTP request from the browser or from a client, Java client, .NET client, whatever, with the value which is on this annotation. So even we can implement our own custom methods, although it's not recommended. Just use the standard methods that are available out there, but it's very easy to even implement our own method and create an annotation like this. So that's the key two important annotations: @path, which will map the URI to your resource, or even it's very powerful. In the later presentations I will show you how you can even match using the @path annotation. You can map various methods as well, not only at the resource level, you can even use it at the method level to get the parameters to assign values, etc. But at a very minimum, @path maps the incoming request to a particular resource that can serve the RESTful service. And the second type of binding is the HTTP method binding, which can be done by using all the annotations available in the JAX-RS API.